Hello, this is a tutorial on how to install R in RStudio for your Mac OS X. First, let's make sure your system is fully updated. In order to do that, go to the App Store, find the App Store symbol, click on it, and be certain to go to the Updates icon. Allow the computer to cycle through to check for updates. Make sure all the updates are in place. And it seems to be taking a few minutes for my system to check. And it's returned no updates available. If you have any updates that need to be installed, I highly recommend that you go ahead and do that. Completely update your operating system in order to make sure that all of the individual components that are needed are in place in order to run the most current version of R in RStudio. Once you've completely updated your Macintosh operating system, you can go ahead and close the App Store. Then what I recommend you do is go to the Apple and just restart. And it's always good to execute a fresh restart prior to installing any new software. Then, after you have updated your operating system and restarted your computer, executed a restart, go to Safari, click on Google, and hit enter. And then let's look for R stats. Hit return. And the first link that appears is R, the R project for statistical computing. That is the correct link. Click on that. The second line indicates download R. Let's click on that. Now this is the mirror or the repository that we will choose to download R from. Let's scroll down until we find the United States. You could select probably just about any of these would probably work, but I'm going to choose Duke since it's the closest to Williamsburg. Now let's go up and select download R for Mac OS X and select R 3.4.1 package. Click on that, and then a download will begin. You'll notice the file downloads to the download folder. I'll click on that. I'll grab the package and move it to my desktop, and then I will go ahead and click on the package. And then the installer guide appears. Click on continue, 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 agree. It will indicate how much space the software will occupy on your computer. Install. Then you will need to enter your password likely. I'm going to enter mine. Configuring, writing, moving, running, cleaning, validating. Okay, so it did its thing. Press close, and now R has been installed onto our computer. So we can go down here to the Finder, and then under Applications, go down to R, and you will notice R is now located within our Applications folder. You can go ahead and click on that just to confirm that it's running properly. And you'll see R version 3.4.1, single candle, and it appears to work just fine. This is in fact the console, which is required in the integrated developer environment of RStudio, which we will install after finishing this installation. The only other thing to note is that R actually appears in your dock. You could go ahead and right-click on it, or two-finger click, I think, on a Mac. Go up to Options and Keep in Dock. And that way, you don't have to find your applications folder every time to open up R. It'll just appear in your dock and you can just click on it there. So now that we have R console framework installed, we can go ahead and close that. We do not need to save. Don't save. Close the applications as well. We can Google again R Studio. And you can go ahead and select download R Studio. That should bring you directly to the download page. And there it is. So in this case, what we want to select is the first one, open source free R Studio desktop open source license. Scroll down, it says download now. You can just keep scrolling down. Installers for supported platforms. On a Mac, we're interested in the second one here, RStudio 1.0.153, Mac OS X 10.6 Plus, 64-bit. So let's click on that. Go back to the download folder, pull that out, click on it. Let's open it up. And there we have it. Now this is a fairly important step. You'll notice over here, after opening the DMG file, the package, it creates a kind of a Fusion drive. I think that's what that is. And you'll notice it opens up that Fusion drive where we see the RStudio icon and a link to the applications folder on our individual computer. In order to complete the installation, select the icon, grab it, and then move it into that applications folder. And then drop it so it appears there. I've already done this, so I'm just going to replace it with the new version, which shouldn't do any harm. Now, I will go ahead and open up RStudio. And then it brings up this security restriction. Now, for me, on my computer, since I've already installed RStudio and my Mac recognizes RStudio, all I have to do is press open. You may have a more restrictive environment, and if that's the case, then you may need to go up to the Apple, click on System Preferences, and under Security and Privacy, you will likely notice a box right here with a button on it that says, is this software that you have downloaded from the internet, or do you agree to go ahead and install it? And there will be a button there, open anyway, or something like that. You may have to enter your password again, but then it should install. So if you have problems opening it, go to Security and Privacy and check that setting. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to go ahead and open, and there it is. Now that is RStudio installed. I'm going to go ahead and close it. I'm going to go ahead and close that, and finally I'm going to take the packages, DMGs, and drives, throw them in the trash, and that is how to install R and RStudio on your Macintosh.